All
Hi,
right.
Vadim.
What's happening?
Well, we're in my garage. I have a problem that I need your help with.
Okay, what happened, man?
Well, I was driving along and I ran over a nail. I punctured my tire. It still holds air. You can see that there's a nail hole right there.
All right.
Um, I've actually been driving on it for probably a month, if not more. It's very slowly leaking, but hasn't been much of a problem. But I think what we want to do is fix it.
Never
I
fixed
have,
a tire in my life, so show me what.
well, a lot of people haven't. I've got my bag of many things here. This is usually something that I carry around
Magical bag
with me.
stuff.
You know, the usual things from Minnesota. You got jumper cables, towing rope, and also we got this Slime Deluxe tire plug kit. Have you used one of these before?
No, well, for a bike, yes, I have, but not.
Did you use the slime one, like where you inject the stuff?
I think it was a patch, but yeah, similar. I mean, maybe the same brand. The one I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I've used these things before. Actually, I had a flat rear tire on the 4Runner. And actually, I patched it and it still holds air, works pretty fine.
Good stuff, huh?
Yeah, it costs, I don't know, $4 and much cheaper than replacing the whole tire. So
Where do you start with?
Well, I think first thing we want to do is
removing the tire.
No. So there's two ways you could do this, right? You can take the wheel off and do it separately, but we're going to do it right on the car.
Oh, fantastic.
So one of the
I don't
first...
feel like working tonight, so.
Oh, like, I think you can do this repair sitting on your butt at home. Well, think about it this way. Have you ever been trapped somewhere because you had a flat tire?
I have run flats on my X5, so I don't care.
But,
well, now I got a 4Runner, so that's now.
Oh, well,
that's
congratulations. That's kind of cool. But it's, I mean, obviously you could call AAA and have somebody come out and try to fix it for you, but I think this is kind of one of those skills that's usually a good ace to have in your pocket.
Or a dangerous skill to have, because you can get run over by a car on the side of the highway.
Well, that's true. That's true. But think of it this way. So there's a lot of, I mean, if you're on the highway, you can always call for help, get a tow truck, you can drive off. But let's say that you're in the forest somewhere, like
yeah, that's true.
I have some mud on here. I was doing some very light off-roading, and it's very easy to get a puncture. And sometimes, you can throw on a spare tire, but what happens when your spare is...
So let me ask you this question. A spare tire on the 4Runner, how the fuck do you remove it from under the car?
There is, when you open the trunk, open it up. Okay. On the left side, you've got a little door. And you open that door, and in there you have your repair kit, basically.
Okay.
It has a jack. It has a wrench for you to get the lug nuts off your tire. There's usually at least one keyed lug nut so that people can't steal your wheels. And so the key for that is located there. And then you have like this long tool, sort of shaped like it's the handle for your jack. So, okay. And then when you go back to your door, you look from the back, basically where the hinge closes. There is a hole that goes through your bumper. And what you do is you take that tool and you stick it through that hole, and you set the tool.
In your trunk or from?
It's in the trunk. It's not from the bottom.
So you don't have to crawl under the car.
No. Well, you still have to crawl under the car to eventually
remove the
pull
tire,
it out.
but you start with inside.
So what you do is you stick it. It's where the latch is on your for latching the door. You stick it in there. You spin, drops the tire down.
Oh, okay. So it's much simpler than I imagined it would.
Yeah, be. But it's one of those things. Always read the manual. Your car has instructions on how to do it. Also, unlike many other cars, the 4Runner doesn't really have set jack points because it's a body on frame.
Body on frame. Okay, so you
vehicle.
can jack it up any.
You can basically jack it up on any point where the frame is, yeah. And that's what we have the jack set to here.
All right.
So what we're going to do is we're not going to remove the tire. We're going to try to do it as is. So the first step is to repairing this is to try to, well, not to try, but to set the parking brake, because whenever you lift the car, if your parking brake isn't set, has a chance of rolling around, especially if you're on a hill, on any kind of
Yeah, that's
incline.
true. So, oh yeah, speaking of parking, a parking brake on the 4Runner, what the hell is it?
So when you're in the driver's seat, you have your gas pedal, you have your brake pedal, and then up on the left where the dash comes up, there's the parking brake.
Oh, so it's
It's a pedal. Yeah.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
you press it in, it clacks, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, and then it's set. To release it, push it again, it pops back up.
All right, all good to know. I mean, like, yeah.
So I've set the brake on this one, so it shouldn't be rolling anywhere. So the next step is I already have the jack set for one of the jack points, which don't exist. It's sitting under the frame, and so I'm just
All
gonna
right, let me take a peek. So next time I'm doing this,
sure.
all right. So you set it. I see. All right.
So it'll just
On the frame itself.
I should probably just stand up and do it. All right, so we got some clearance under the tire right now.
right.
Basically, the idea is you want to take the weight of the car off the tire.
Yep.
Now, because the tire is still inflated, it actually still holds pressure. Next thing we want to do is deflate the tire a little bit. So if we take the valve stem off, not the valve stem, but the little cover, take that off.
Yeah.
And then you just use any kind of flat tool to press it in. You'll hear hiss.
All right.
That's the tire deflating.
You and I can do that.
You can.
Alrighty, so you deflate it entirely, all the way.
Well, I think we should try to deflate it as much as we can.
So we're gonna remove it off the rim, or we're not.
No, we're not going to remove it off the rim, but we are going to want to manipulate the nail a little bit so that we can
Alright.
pull it out.
Oh, from the outside.
Yeah, and the best way to do that is if we deflate the tire a little bit, make it a bit softer. We'll be.
My hands are getting cold. All right, good times.
So what? I think it's probably good.
All right. So,
Nice. So why did you decide to get a 4Runner?
Because I'm sick and tired of. Well, I've been driving Beamers for the last 13 years, and I'm sick and tired of spending money on repairs, car repairs. Beamers are great. I love them. I love driving them, but I mean, when they get older, it's really costly to get them repaired.
Things start going slowly.
Yeah, and they do break. So there's a lot of, they have a lot of electronics and very mechanically they're very complex and obviously, and very costly to maintain. So plus the 4Runner maintains its value, real well. You can. I checked like cars.com and stuff, and they have 4Runners that are, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, and they only lost like 25% of their value.
Wow.
Just amazing. I mean, look at Beamers. Bought my car for $65,000. 3 years later, it's like 32 or whatever the value is. It's just like
It's a big drop.
it's a big drop. It's like lost its 50% of the value. So
Yeah.
that's just.
When I was looking for a 4Runner, I started with the idea that I wanted to get a used one because, why spend too much money?
Did you
up
buy
front?
this one used or?
No, it was brand new. I started basically doing the same thing. I looked at the used market and realized that even if they're like 4 or 5 years old, with 100,000 miles on them, they're only like 3-4 grand cheaper than brand new.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
That was
point.
such a surprise to me, and
Yeah.
I figured, you know what, screw it. Might as well just pay a little more and get a brand new truck and be able to enjoy it from the start and be sure that it's well taken care of. Because when I take care of it, I know the history of the vehicle, as opposed
Yeah,
to
exactly.
if you get a lease return, you never know if that person ever changed the oil in that car, because you don't have to.
Does anybody even lease a 4Runner? I'm not sure. It's even economically. Well,
a good
actually, it
point.
might be. I mean, because the residual is really
The
high.
residual value is really high, so the
Yeah.
dealership stands to make good money off of getting payments from you, and then still be able
Right,
to
true.
sell it to close to new after 2-3 years.
Yeah. So you've had it for how long?
Well, I got it in 2016, so I've had it for a little bit over 3 years now. I'm at 65,000 miles, and
Wow.
I've really been trouble free. I have had one issue that was covered under warranty. The blower fan inside the vehicle was squeaking. So, like when you put it on low, just the air conditioning or the heater, you put
Oh,
on low,
gotcha.
it
Okay.
would squeak. If you put it on high, it would spin up and the squeak would go away. But it was quite annoying. So I took it in. They replaced it. It's been fine since. The only other issue has been the recall. So they have the
recall.
Takata airbags
Oh yeah, yeah.
that
Okay.
are made in Japan, and they put them in Hondas, Toyotas. Basically, all the vehicles use them. And apparently, there was a manufacturing issue with how.
That would go on.
Yeah, basically, they had something happening
Their
that
own.
they could possibly injure somebody, so they recalled it, and mine's been replaced. So that's
Oh,
it.
gotcha. All right.
Other than that, it's been punctures. All right, so we got this nail here, right? I think first thing we got to do is get it out. Choose your tool. What's your poison?
Oh, set of pliers. I don't know.
Set of pliers is probably a good start. Maybe start with a pick like this.
Is that from the dentist's office or?
Yeah, nothing but the cheapest magnesium at my dentist.
Oh, you have friend. Your friend is a dentist, right? So you.
So
remember
I
that.
think the idea is to try to see if you can pick a little
You
bit
want me to
underneath
just
it.
try
yeah.
to-
Yeah, just dig in there and see if you can
okay.
get some of it up and up. Let's see what shape this thing's actually in. And you know what? How about while you lift it
yeah.
up a little bit,
Grab
I'll get
it.
some pliers on it. All right, let go.
There you go.
That's it.
That's it. Maybe it's not even leaking the air.
I thought there was like an actual nail in
not
there.
leaking air,
All
man.
we got is a little thing. Well, you know how you check for it is you mix up some dish soap and water.
Yeah, I think your pick is
Like I said, it's
dented.
really made well device. All right, so the trick is kind of keep an eye on where the hole is.
Okay.
Because now that you took the nail out, it's very easy to lose. So I
I
usually
think you have another hole
no way.
here as well. Whatever the hell that is. Looks like a hole.
Interesting. I wonder if
There's something inside.
I wonder if it was just like one nail that's sort of broken.
Oh,
into
gotcha.
two.
Yeah, probably that's the case.
Although it could be something else. I don't know. Well, let's not screw with it for now. Let's start with the first one. So yeah, what I will do is here, grab this tape. Just kind of put tape around the hole so you can keep an eye on exactly where
Okay.
your stuff is. So next, we grab our handy dandy tool set, and for this part you probably want to throw on some gloves, just because you're going to be dealing with glue. And your hands are going to get sticky.
You don't want that.
You got two tools. You got this rasping tool, which is basically used to clean out the hole, and then you have this other tool, which you use to install the plug. Kit comes with a little tube of rubber cement, which basically adds acts as a lubricant. And then you've got these magical sticky things, which are basically this is your plug. This is your plug material.
All right.
So start with this. Grab.
So do you want to check for the hole? Like that's a real hole? Maybe
Well,
it's
let's go ahead and push it in. See what happens.
like
Try to go. No, don't go at an angle. Try to go perpendicularly, and don't spin it. Just push. Grab a good hold of it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, one hand and push it in.
Well, it's not going.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there's a hole in there.
Well, there's certainly a nail in there. I wonder.
Try yourself. I mean, like
Whoa. Well, it's certainly going in.
at an angle. Yes.
Well, let's do this. Why do the work when you can just check? See if there's any air bubbling out of there. Although it's definitely not under pressure anymore. Where's our little mystery hole?
Right there.
Let's get some soapy water in there too. What I'll do is I'll drop the car off the jack. As the pressure increased,
Yeah.
let's see if there's any bubbles coming out. Probably should have done that in the beginning. Like I said, it's a small leak.
I don't see anything at all, unless there's something else somewhere.
Let's do this. Let's get it back up, and we'll spin the tire around and see what happens. You know, it's nice to practice these things in the garage as opposed to
Yeah, no shit. In
on
the
the
woods.
side of the road or in the woods somewhere. I mean, I know that this tire is leaking a little bit of air. My best guess is that it's still the big
Well,
one.
I mean that potentially
The
that's
big one is
where it is.
probably it.
So what does it do? And like you're basically cleaning the wound,
Yeah. So the idea behind this tool
priming
is
it. Okay.
you want to, because nails are rusty, right?
Yep.
So you get all this crap in the hole. This tool basically cleans out the hole so that your patch has something to stick to.
Gotcha.
Very simple.
So you prime the rubber, and then you're gonna apply the
Yeah.
glue.
So I mean, I can feel it. It's going in. It's just not going in very deep. And the question is, see if you look at that, there's quite a bit of gunk on there.
Yep. You're gonna make a hole now.
There you go. There is a hole in there. It just took a little bit to get it in and out. So
Okay, gotcha.
plug it, put it in, pull it out, put it in, pull it out. Do that a few times. So it's actually a little bit further up than it looks. It wasn't here. It's right above.
Right.
All right, yank it out. See if you can get a feel for the angle.
To be honest with you, I can't.
Let me put it back in, and when you pull it out, so you can see.
Let me see. Okay. Yep. Let's see.
It's there.
All right.
All right, so we'll clean the hole. Step 2, grab this guy.
Okay.
And then what you want to do with these is take one of these plugs and remove it from the backing material, which sometimes is easier said than done. We made the hole larger.
Well, definitely, yeah.
I mean, you can hear it seep in air, but there was definitely a hole there before. And if not,
there's one now.
All right, so what you want to do is take this off,
Okay.
kind of peel it off. It's sticky, peel it off, and then insert it basically halfway
Inside
in there, inside that hole.
All right.
You can pull it through that way, yeah.
All right.
And then you got this rubber cement. Go ahead, grab it. Liberally put it on all the sides.
Like all around?
Yeah, everywhere. It's going to add both as a adhesive and as a lubricant for you to slide it in and out. So, like, don't be afraid to not use enough. You can't use too much.
All right. Liberally.
I think that's good. Now that it's dripping on the floor, you know you got it. All right, so now your trick is to insert it into the hole, and you're gonna insert it until about 2/3 of the material is inside. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I'll hold the tire. Try not to spin it, just push it in. There you go. That's good. Now,
You sure?
so now that you've got the tool in there, you've got the plug in there, you got both sides of the plug sticking out. Grab the tool,
Yeah.
and with one fast, continuous motion, pull it out.
Oh, it's gonna pull the plug out.
Go ahead and pull. Interesting. So when I've done this before, you put the plug in, and then when you go to pull this out,
It's gonna tear
it'll
the plug.
open. No, it doesn't tear it. There is an opening in the tool,
Okay.
and it comes, basically leaves the plug in.
Well, I may have fucked it up, so I don't know. For sure.
Well, hey, guess what? We have more plugs, so we can do this again. Go ahead and see if you can peel the other one off. It's right here. I'll take this thing out, clean it up. So when's the last time you did any kind of car repair yourself?
Shit, man. Maybe like 16 years ago.
Do you remember what the first thing you repaired in a car was?
Changed oil. And,
How did you get
changed the oil
started? How did you get started with that?
Well, I only did it maybe like once or twice. How did I get started?
Yeah.
I wanted to save money.
I mean, but like, how did you learn how to do that sort of thing?
I don't remember.
Some people-
Somebody showed it to me, I guess.
Some people can, I know that most of them.
Well, back then they didn't have like YouTube and shit, so I guess one of my roommates was my mentor.
What was your first car?
It was a Mazda 626. Like, don't even remember the year. It was a piece of shit, man. It was a horrible car. Had this issue. Whenever you would accelerate, the engine would start dying, and nobody could figure it out. So
Were they carbureted or was it fuel injected already?
I was fuel injected, but there was something wrong with the, you know, with that part of the engine. So it was a nightmare. So I had to sell it to a new lucky owner.
You didn't trade it in for a newer vehicle, or you just got rid of it?
No, then I got a VW Golf.
I don't, in my experience,
that was a piece of shit as
those
well.
have not been the more reliable cars.
No, it wasn't. So it was pretty bad. Do you want me to clean it again?
It should be fine.
I just want to see I want to see that
Yeah.
the angle is right. For the what the
You shouldn't have to push that hard. It went in relatively pain-free. So if you're meeting too much resistance, then you just...
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting into that. Maybe that's the problem. I'm just not feeling the hole. I don't know what it is, man.
Let me try.
Here you go. There it is. So, like this.
All right, see if you can put that in there at the same angle.
I'm not feeling the hole.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Actually, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Fuck. I'm gonna fuck this one up again. All right.
Is it in? Is it in yet?
I don't know. It's a tricky fucking. It's a very tricky hole.
Once again, you don't want to, as you've been spinning the tool back and forth.
Yeah.
You don't want to spin it at all. You want to insert it in one motion, the same way that basically the first time. So if I'm going to try to pull it back a little bit, I'm going to see if I can get it in there.
There you go.
It's in. So now you count to 1 Mississippi, and the idea is you yank it out. Son of a bitch.
Well, it plugged it.
Well, no,
What
because
was
the plug is
The
in my
plug
hand.
itself, yeah.
The plug is in my hand, so it didn't. All
What
right.
the fuck?
Well, thanks, Slime Deluxe Tire Plug Kit. Actually, I'm kind of shitty on it, but I have used this before, and it went pretty smoothly. Let me see. It went pretty smoothly, and I've never really had this particular issue. But we do have more plugs, and we have to have this tire fixed because without it, it can't go anywhere. So let me see if I can do anything to figure it out. So there is some plug material in there, which is nice. But let's see if we can pull it out. It's mostly the sealant around the plug and not the actual plug material that's
Right.
there. So what we'll do is we'll get some of the sealant off, get the goo away. We'll grab a new plug, mount it on the tool, put it on, rubber cement. Get
Well, let's try it yourself now. So it could be me not putting it in the hole correctly. It's a tricky hole.
It is a tricky hole. That's why it's so much nicer to practice doing this in a warmer garage.
Oh, absolutely. If I were in the woods right now,
than to be stuck
in
in
the middle
the
of
woods.
the night,
Well, you start
Oh,
panicking.
yeah.
But there's no reason to panic. I think this is doable. Just insert the plug
all
like
right.
that. She's in. And then the instructions say pull out.
There you go. That's
And that's it. So now the plug is in. We wait a few minutes for it to basically set. Even though I think the instructions don't say anything about waiting. Approximately 2/3 of the way in. Yeah, pull straight out in a rapid motion. Do not twist the needle while pulling out. Important.
that's the key. Don't twist.
Don't twist. Put it in, pull it out. No twisty twisty. And then reinflate the tire to recommended pressure to test blah, 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 that the tire is not leaking. All right, so recommended pressure. We've got a air compressor. Now, of course, when you're on the side of the road, you're not going to have a shop air compressor handy.
What would you do then?
They have little ones, little portable
air
ones that
compressors.
plug into your
12 volt.
12-volt cigarette lighter, at least what used to be a cigarette lighter.
You have one?
I do. I don't have it in this kit of many things, which I actually should. But it's packed away in a box somewhere, which does me no good if I get stuck with a flat tire. But you know one thing about using those? They're really slow. With a shop air compressor, you can inflate the tire in a few seconds. Those things, you have to wait for...
Half an hour.
Honestly, it's going to take about 20 to 25 minutes to inflate a tire this
That's
size.
probably,
It's a tiny little piston that goes bzzz, back and forth. All right, so let's see. Let's reinflate this thing and see what happened.
The freaking plug's gonna be flying into my face.
I don't think so.
No, I'm kidding.
Although,
It's like, yeah, it's pointed right at me.
you should be wearing safety goggles.
I should be. Yeah, that's safety first.
All right, so we put some air in. Use our handy dandy Walmart $3 special. Oh, well, actually, the tire's flatter than I thought. 10 psi. We're going for 34.
Good times. Well, that's it's actually pretty easy.
Once you've seen it done right, it's not so bad, is it?
Not at all.
Yeah, I think the issue we had was the twisting motion. Twisty, back and forth. You have to slide it in straight and pull it straight out.
All right, that's the key. Don't twist. Just slide it in.
All right, so we're at 16 psi, and that's not enough to completely inflate the tire. So we're gonna take a small commercial break. No, it's a small technical difficulty. I have to plug in the compressor. It's going to make a lot of noise. So we'll come back in a second when the compressor is inflated and we'll reinflate the tire. 3, 2, 1. You know why they do the clap?
So you like clapping?
I do like clapping, but it's really a way to synchronize audio to video. When you record audio and video separately, when you get it back into your video editing program, when you see the clap happen on camera and you see the spike happening in your audio file, you can line them up.
Oh, wow.
And then
That's
the sound stays synchronized to the video.
oh, interesting. That's
So-
one of those techniques.
Movie magic. You've seen the little rollers with the counter on them and they go
Yeah.
clink for the board.
That's exactly the same
That's
thing.
what it does, yeah.
Oh, I was wondering why the hell they do that.
Yep, it's to synchronize audio and video. Cool little thing to know.
That's,
All right.
that's pretty cool.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Plug is still in. We got some more air in the air compressor. Let's reinflate.
Yeah. Good times. So how many times have you done this?
This is actually my second time.
Wow, not too bad.
You know, technically, if you read the instructions on the kit, they say if you can plug this tire and then make your way to a dealer or a repair shop to get your tire properly repaired. Well, I've actually had very good luck having done this and not having to change the tire.
Oh, so it's a temporary measure.
It's supposed to be a
It's a
temporary measure.
stopgap
Yeah,
measure. Okay.
but I think it's more of a, how would you say it? a way for them to cup out.
Oh, gotcha.
In other words, more of like lawyer speak. You know, like,
Yeah.
this is not. You can do this to get yourself to a repair shop,
But it's not a permanent fix.
but it shouldn't be a permanent
yeah,
fix.
if something happens, we're off the hook.
Yeah, but when I did the other tire using this method, it kept. I mean, I'm still driving on it. I repaired it in August, late August, and it's been 3 months.
No issues.
Not leaking air.
I don't think you can do this to this type of repair with round flats, because they
Well,
probably you can, but like every single time it happened to me in the past, you would go to a dealer and they charge you a fee where they replace all 2 or 4 tires.
sure.
But I might call it bullshit, and that's how they make money. Right?
It's true. But there are reasons to do it, though. For instance, if you have all-wheel drive vehicles, kind of like Subaru, where you actually have all 4 wheels
Yep.
rotating, the wheels, the reason you rotate tires on wheels, on vehicles is so that they wear evenly. And what happens is, if a tire gets basically catastrophically destroyed in some way, you have to change all 4 tires. You can't change just one, because the new tire is going to be larger circumference-wise than the worn tires on the car. And since you have, a front differential, a center differential, and a rear differential, all those things are connected together all the time on a full all-wheel drive vehicle. So if you put a larger tire on than the rest, that's going to cause the gears in all 4 differentials to have stress when they mesh together. And it's going to start wearing down those gears, and eventually one of them or multiple differentials could fail. So as a safety measure, it's a good idea. It's one thing that, okay, I'm stuck somewhere, I have to make it home or to a repair shop. You do what you can, but for day-to-day life, you should always get it fixed. So that's why sometimes they have you change all 4 tires when you only have 1 puncture.
Yep, well, makes sense.
But on run flat tires, I think the geometry of them is, they have really stiff sidewalls, and basically once you puncture the tire, they consider it to be compromised. I mean, basically drive at your own risk, just kind of like this fix. The reason why I'm trying it is because the tire is already punctured. I can take it to a shop and they can try repairing it again. Yeah, or I could just get a new set of tires. At some point, this vehicle will need them. So
All right.
it's all right. Actually, we have a cable issue. All right, so tires inflated.
Inflated, okay.
So step next is we drop the vehicle back down.
All right, let me
Watch your feet. I'm gonna try to lower it slowly.
run for your life.
Run away. Bravely ran away. All right. It's a hydraulic jack, so
Oh, that's beautiful.
just rotate the handle and it drops the car. All right. So step next is to see if it's still leaking. Now you can see the plug is still sticking out. The instructions say that that's perfectly fine. You could leave it stuck.
You drive with.
You could leave it, it'll rub off. But what I like to do is, they say you can also cut it off. So what I like to do is I like to just take a razor blade and slice it flat with a tire.
Yeah.
And that seems to work. The only issue is that I don't have a razor blade handy. So I'm going to go behind the scenes and grab one. Be right back.
All right.
All right. Butts back down. Three, two, one. So I grabbed myself a box cutter knife, and then I pulled the razor blade out of it. You want to do the honors?
Yeah, that I can do.
Basically, just start maybe underneath and just use a nice sawing motion back and forth to slice up gently without cutting into the tire.
Am I cutting into the tire?
It's like you've done this before.
Oh yeah, man.
Beautiful. All right, step last.
Times.
Grab our handy dandy leak checker, give it a light spray,
I don't see anything.
and see if there's any bubbles coming out. If there were, you definitely get a running little lake of bubbles.
Yeah, I don't see any bubbles. But yeah. Yeah, it's right here. Just to make sure. Spray in your face. Yeah, I don't see
So
bubbles.
the thing to do is obviously, leave the tire on. Maybe leave it overnight. Check in the morning to see if the pressure dropped. Right now we are at 33 psi. We should be at 34, but the air compressor needs to be recharged again. So we'll just have to remember that, and I'll check it in the morning and see if
All right.
it leaked or not.
Good
But
times, good job.
I think we repaired this tire.
You think so? All right, man.
So how do we end this?
We ended this with a dance.
Well, I mean, that's certainly interesting. But let me ask you this. Do you have anything interesting that you want to share? Anything to promote? I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
What should I be promoting? I don't have anything to promote.
That's good. That's fine. But I do. I want to promote a organization which is kind of dear to my heart. It's called Last Hope. This organization, Last Hope, what they do is they go down to southern states and they visit kill shelters and they pick up animals, which they bring up to northern Minnesota, actually Northern America, just Minnesota. And then they spay and neuter those animals, and then they put them up for adoption. And that's where I adopted my dog. So a big shout out to Last Hope. And if you guys are looking for a nice, friendly animal for your family, whether it's a dog or a cat, you should look them up online and see where they have their adoption events and check them out. Maybe you'll find a nice new family member for your kids or yourself. All right, Vadim,
All right.
thank you for helping me out.
Hey, no worries, man. Thank you for teaching me how to do this stuff.
I appreciate your help. And
If I get stuck in the woods,
now you know what to do.
now I know what to do. I'll be frustrated as hell, but
Get yourself one of these and a little air compressor, and you'll never be stuck again.
all right.
All right,
Awesome.
thanks. Good night.